Hello everyone, this is Imran from CodeInfo, and today we will be installing Timerly on Digitalocean. We will not be using the installer and we will be installing it completely manually. And if you see, recently Digitalocean have introduced a one-click Laravel installer, so we will go through it. First, let's create a droplet. So when we are creating a droplet, as I have already told you that DigitalOcean has introduced a Laravel marketplace and Laravel installer in the marketplace. So let's select it. I will go with the $5 plan. I will just choose the basic plan. Then we will be adding a SSH key so that I can directly connect using the putty. Okay, let's create a droplet. Oh, okay, I think I have forgot to name my droplet correctly, but that's not an issue. We can rename it at any time. It will take some time to create a droplet. It can take around 10 to 15 seconds mostly. Okay, let's wait for this. I already had the Timerly in my putty configuration. I will just delete the configurations. If you see my account, we have the CodeInfo domain, which is my blog, and we have this RSS aggregator, which is my other product on CodeCanon. You guys can really check it out. It's really a premium product where you can add news for aggregation. You can add many news channels and other stuff. Okay, our droplet installation is done, creation is done. So let's copy the IP and put it. I will just save the sessions. I will put my private key for SSH access. Okay, let's save the session and open. Okay, let's log into the putty. There are a number of steps we need to follow here. The Laravel installer by default gives us this domain and subdomain name configuration, SSL configuration, and other stuff. You can just press Ctrl+C and cancel the setup every time you connect to the putty to your server. It will ask you about that. You can set up the SSL once you have connected the domain. Other information can be found in when you click on the get started documentation on the droplet. Okay, for now we will run the apt update on the server so that we will get all the updated packages. By default, Laravel installer doesn't install the curl library curl. So what we will do is we will do an apt update. After that we will do an apt install, apt get install to install the php curl library. Currently, once we have installed it, it will install php 7.4 curl because we are using the php version 7.4 here. You can use any version above 7.2, but it's better to use version which is php 7.2 above, because I think we have some issues, security issues in 7.1, and that will be deprecated soon. 7.2 will also be deprecated soon. So it's better to go with 7.4, which is the latest one. Okay, so we are mostly done. Yeah, so we are done with the installation of the php curl. Let's check our files. So you will see we already have some Laravel setup done here by DigitalOcean quick one-click installer, and it has set the env. It has created a database user which is Laravel user, and it has created a database which is Laravel and a new password. If you see in the latest MySQL versions, you won't be able to connect the root directly, so you need to create a new user here. We will connect the root from the local host, and we will create another user so that we can use in our new setup. Okay, I will copy the command to create the user, which is a create user command, and replace the required stuff. Okay, so let's replace the PMA user with the username which we want. I will go with Timerly, and I will use a basic password, anything like Timerly. Okay, so we have a new user now, but user don't have the required privileges we need. So let's grant all the privileges to the user, to our new user, which is Timerly at localhost. Okay, so we are done granting all the privileges to the user. Let's give it a try. Let's connect the user and create the database as well. Create database Timerly. Okay, so we have the database. The next step, let's see what we can do. The next step, we need our files, which is our software Timerly, which you have downloaded from the Code Canyon. I will delete the HTML folder and recreate it. You can directly upload the files using the SFTP or FTP. In that case, you will have the vendor directory available for you. But currently, I am just cloning my repository, which is Timerly. The repository is private. If you have bought the software from the Code Canyon and you want the access to Timerly repository so that you will get the latest bug fixes, because we will be uploading everything like twice or thrice a month, and it will take some time for you to get the access to the bug fixes. You can send me a request for that. I will add you to the repository. So once cloning is done, we will do a Composer install, and Composer is already installed for us using by one-click installer, so we don't have to install the Composer, but we can directly run Composer install here. So the Composer installation is already done. The next step is to set up the .env file. By default, repository will ignore the .env file, but you will have .env file. You will just have to make required changes in that. I will just copy paste my env file from the editor. Okay, we have it here. Let's change some defaults here. The app name, I will put it as Timerly, and we have this environment. We will change the environment soon. Let's copy paste the URL. We have the IP address. We have the IP address here. Make sure you change this so that it would really affect the emails which are sending to the customers, because the forgot password and other emails will use the IP address or the host name here, or the app URL here. Let's change the environment to production. Okay, now we need to set the database configuration here. Database name is Timerly, username is Timerly, and the password is also Timerly. Let's save the file. Okay, let's check our website. Okay, so as you see by this error, I can see that there is permission issues. Let's go to our documentation. We forgot to give the correct permissions. So these are the permissions we need to provide. And let's change the group to www data for the HTML directory. And then there are 4 files, 1 file and 3 folders which we need to change the permissions. We need the right access to that. And make it recursively. So use the command which are provided in the documentation. Okay, so we need the right permission to the public directory as well, and the bootstrap directory, last one. Okay, so do a refresh, and what we can see is tables are missing. So that's because we have not imported our SQL statement, not imported our database here. Our database is located at in the public folder inside the install directory and the SQL directory. Let's connect to the database using the Timerly username and the Timerly password. Okay, let's check where we have our database here. Public install SQL, and here comes the db.sql. We will use the source command to import the database here. Source. So on the server we have var www.html, then comes the public install and sql /db.sql. Okay, so it will take like 5 to 10 seconds to import the database. Okay, we are done with that. So once the database is imported, we will have some users available to us. The first user is the admin user, which will be admin@mail.com, and the password is password. So this is a default user, and it will have all the privileges of the system. You can create the users using going to the users, and we will have a default membership which is a free membership, and that's the default membership which you can set in the general settings. Okay, thank you for the purchase.